All right, everybody's favorite CEO, Jensen from Nvidia, gave some interviews on CNBC. I'm going to give you my raw thoughts. It was really interesting. So he said that Nvidia transitioned from being solely a graphics chip company to a computing platform company, and the systems Nvidia builds are enormous. He described them as being 1,000 acres large, which require hundreds of megawatts or gigawatts of power. This goes back to what I've been saying about energy. I think it's going to catch a bid. He said that the demand for computing has increased substantially in the last 6 months, and the surge is driven by AI transitioning from simple one shot answers to reasoning and thinking. He said that the high demand for their Blackwell chips suggests that the world is at the beginning of a new industrial build out. He also indicated that for several years, generating AI tokens was done at a loss, but the new reasoning capability allows AI models to do research, making tokens profitable, which allows them to create value before AIG or AGI, sorry. So incredibly profitable and useful AIs will exist, according to Jensen, long before artificial general intelligence is achieved. And once that's achieved, you have to think that there's just going to be more and more compute needed. And then he touched on the relationship with OpenAI, which was very interesting because what he said was that OpenAI is now going to be buying compute capacity directly from NVIDIA rather than renting from cloud service providers or in coexistence with it. So the partnership will help OpenAI build and operate its own AI infrastructure, which puts them in the same category as a Microsoft or a Meta or an Alphabet or an Amazon, because now they're not just relying on third parties for their compute, they are getting it direct and building out and operating their own infrastructure. And what he said that's really interesting is that regarding the energy supply, we need more energy to power AI infrastructure, and specifically mentioned the importance of pro energy growth policies so that the entire industry above the energy layer is not constrained. I have a little bit of a theory here. And my theory is that if the market starts to get a little bit exhaustive tech from a little bit, and we do see a broad market rally, that broad market is going to be the supplemental companies that help build out the AI infrastructure. And I think energy is really interesting here. I don't think we're ready for how much energy we're going to need, whether it's utility or scale from natural gas and crude. So there's a lot of things I'm looking at, but everything Jensen said, all roads lead back to chips. The OpenAI deal with AMD is bullish AMD. I think it's even more bullish NVIDIA because it just goes back to show you there's not enough compute to go around. Companies are grabbing every single thing that they can get their hands on. And I think we're going to have a massive infrastructure build out for many years. And I can't predict when a top is and when a bottom is, but I do think NVIDIA is going to do really well. I'm very excited. I'm going to go have some yogurt, and I'll be back at you tomorrow with another raw thought.